Hi guys, relax, this is not RC car playing. We're talking about bottlenecks today. Stay there and I'll be right back. What's up guys, Daniel Navarro here again. Last week we spoke about the different behaviors from leaders and bosses. Today, the idea is to talk about an important concept to understand some of the lean wastes, bottlenecks. Bottlenecks can be source or consequence of some wastes. But before talking about any technical application, let's think about vacations. In Brazil, with more than 8,500 kilometers of coastline, it is very common to travel to the beach. In such trip, traffic is very common, right? Within the high traffic, cars slow down, but getting close to a toll station, it's normal for traffic to stop, unfortunately. Toll booths cannot handle the car flow. Picture a two-lane road, for example. Usually there are at least double booths than lanes, right? This is an attempt to reduce the bottleneck on collecting toll. That day, going or coming from the beach, not even with all the booths open, all of them are not enough to manage the car flow. In this case, the toll station is the road bottleneck, even when the image differs from a funnel. In a process, productive or administrative, we can also find bottlenecks. These are slower processes. In other words, those processes take longer to finish in comparison to other steps. This way, it's possible that the previous process produces more overproduction and generate an intermediate stock higher than desired, overstock. Or the following process can be stopped waiting while the bottleneck process process a part or a piece. So this is another waste that's called waiting. Notice this bottleneck can bring at least 3 of the lean wastes. In general, there will always be a bottleneck. This will be a process with the highest time compared to the others. Then, which are the alternatives that we have to tackle, to eliminate or minimize those bottlenecks? In general, there will always be a bottleneck. This will be the process with the highest time compared to the others. Then, which alternatives do we have to eliminate or to minimize those bottlenecks? In summary, we could do the following steps. First one, identified bottleneck process. A time study would be very, very useful, for example. Understand if a process time is higher than demand allows. If so, this process must be broken down into more steps and be rebalanced. After the rebalancing, fourth step is to document and standardize the new process. 5. If this time or this process time is already okay, then you need to evaluate the borderline processes. To help with understanding and performing these 5 steps that I just mentioned, I think some tools and some concepts might come handy. First one is takt time. Takt time, it is the available time divided by demand. In other words, the customer is expecting a part every takt time. Cycle time is the second concept. Cycle time is the required time for a process to be finished. Cycle time must be lower than takt time, otherwise the customer would be waiting for a part and the demand wouldn't be reached. Time study. Time study is a time evaluation of a determined process. With a stopwatch, you take the real time if the real time is according to plan or below takt time. Process mapping. When you map the process, it's easier to identify where a bottleneck is and plan some actions. And rebalancing is the division of that activity in more steps in order to make the cycle time below stack time. Another good example to illustrate bottleneck tackling is to understand race car pit stop. For example, in 1950, a fast pit stop took about 70 seconds. In 2019, in the Grand Prix of Brazil, Red Bull Racing Team made a pit stop in 1.82 seconds, an improvement higher than 97% compared to 1950. Impressive, right? I believe at this point you have already enough knowledge and tools in order to identify some bottlenecks around you. Have you identified them already? Do you have action plans for the bottlenecks? Next week I'll be back with you with some more content made specially for you. Don't forget to subscribe and give the thumbs up. See you then.